Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 20 Yvette Speaks. I am your host, 20 Yvette. Glad to be here. I know it's a little bit late. I meant to come and do this earlier, but I just had some things to do, some things to look over. I'm kind of running more than one channel, and so, yeah, it gets hectic sometimes. But I am here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you guys are with me. I'm gonna go to my second monitor so I can catch you guys on chat to see what you guys have to say about this. So what this is I'm actually doing some research right now, and I decided that I would bring you guys along with me because I have gotten so many questions, and I try to take note of all the questions, copy and paste them. And I'm like, you know what? The best thing to do is to just look up the legal paperwork, the paperwork that is actually filed, and let the audience see for themselves, because it's one thing, to tell you guys this stuff and actually look at articles, but it's another to look at what the law enforcement has to say. And of course, I have no way of looking at what the FBI says unless they release some stuff, but I'm going to take you guys with me right now, as a matter of fact, and show you guys exactly what we have going on. Shout out to the 11 in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. And I'm going to change my layout so that I can give you guys a view of what I can see. Okay, I've got to do my stream. Let's see. Yeah, I do have a live stream, but it actually is. Hi, shout out to the 12. How you guys doing? I have a stream that's in here, and I'm trying to get back to the main layout. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna go to my window and let you guys in to the window so that you guys can see what I see. And we're going to do a little fact checking, if you will. Alright, so now that I know you guys can see what I see, this is the United States Department of Justice. And on this site, hi Diane, on the United States Department of Justice is what some of us call legal documentation. And you can go to this website and literally look up anybody who has a criminal past, who have filed legal documentation, anything from criminal activity to divorce to deaths, the whole nine. This is the United States Department of Justice. It's not just one place. So what you do is you go here and you go to search, which is where I am. And of course, as you can see, I searched James Norman because that's his birth name. And two files came up. The one, this one right here, is the first thing that was filed. Two indicted for conspiracy to commit murder for hire, and murder for hire resulting in death. And then the update, James Timothy Norman right here, a man charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of murder for hire resulting in death. So as you can see, these are two very clear charges. So I decided to do a little fact checking, and I went back to when Miss Robbie actually started her investigation to see what Tim was up to. So this says that Sweetie Pies gave Tim Norman a second chance in life. This was by Fox 2 Now News. Hey everybody, Miss Love, Gilda, Just Be Real, yes, Philistine, hey, how you doing? All right, here we go. Hi to everybody coming in. I'm sorry, but I'm about to get into this research, and I'm taking you guys along with me. So I got my monitor popping. So this first story was by April Simpson, and this was in 2014. Nobody knew what was going on in 2014 except for Miss Robbie. Tim did this interview, and to my knowledge, this is what started the controversy that Miss Robbie assumed that Tim was actually using the name Sweetie Pies to open up different restaurants. So Sweetie Pies has become a St. Louis staple that is now spreading its wings. The man behind the brand is Tim Norman. Now we all know that that is not true. Okay, he was a part owner. He was not the sole owner. And after the lawsuit, he lost controlling interest in the company, which I did not know that until I went to what? Yes, that's right, the United States Department of Justice. So, in this article, it says that he's the man behind the brand, and in the words of Shakespeare, to be or not to be, for a while it seemed it was not for Tim. And it went down the line of, really softly that he had, a problem with the law, and, then Sweetie Pies hit it big and he got his big break. And it was very short, sweet, and simple, but it was to let the world know indeed that Tim Norman was the man behind the brand. Why is Tim Norman the man behind the brand? Well, actually, Miss Robbie gave him a chance, and he did a little bit of marketing, this, that, and the other. But see here, we're going to go to the Clarion Ledger. Okay, according to court documents, Norman and Ellis are accused of using prepaid cell phones and all of this ended up in the murder for Montgomery in March 2016. But what I didn't know was the actual dates. So after Andre was murdered, then comes the real filing of the complaint against James T. Norman against Sweetie Pies. So, Sweetie Pie's Restaurant, the plaintiff, versus James T. Norman, and Sweetie Pie's Hollywood LLC, and Sweetie Pie's Kitchen LLC. Okay? I see Manchester Avenue, 101 North Brand Boulevard, Los Angeles, and these were all on the show, right? So, this is in July of 2016. Do you understand? So there was some stuff going on after Andre was laid to rest. Okay, when he passed away was in March 2016. Then the lawsuit comes right here, July 26, 2016. He was served, and Sweetie Pie's Kitchen LLC, James T. Norman, registered agent on the Manchester restaurant. So this is the entire documentation of the lawsuit. It is very lengthy, so we're not going to go through all of this, but this is just proof of what you guys were. There's so many questions, and it takes a long time to do the research, so I'm not going to bore you with everything, but here you have a list. What you're looking at right here is the list of parties. Okay, so you have the state of Missouri. Okay, the location in St. Louis, Missouri, and this is Sweetie Pies, and the trademark. It is important that they list this as a trademark, which is the reason for this lawsuit that Miss Robbie pulled out against him. So then you have the one. This is the action, service mark infringement, which means you misused my name. And it all started with the interview right here on Fox 2 in 2014. So 2 years later, you're being sued because Miss Robbie told you several times to cut it out and you did not. So now you have a franchise that goes in Sweetie Pie's Hollywood and a California limited liability company, liability. Number 5, you've got Sweetie Pie's Kitchen and a Missouri limited liability company. And then jurisdiction and venue. Number 6 is the action arises in part under 15 USC, which is legality for this woman is filing a complaint in this jurisdiction. Common law service mark infringement and unfair competition claims. So that makes it a little bit easier for you to understand. So there are a lot of points. We started with 1. 8, the jurisdiction over all the plaintiff's state law claims. Number 9, okay, defendant Norman, because he resides in Missouri and has committed torturous acts in Missouri. is what number 9 says. Number 10, the court has personal jurisdiction over defendant Sweetie Pie's Hollywood because defendant Sweetie Pie's Hollywood has transacted business and sold services with the plaintiff's federally registered service mark within Missouri. So that makes it plain without getting into, everything. Hi, you guys. That makes it plain. The court has personal jurisdiction over defendant Sweetie Pie's Kitchen because defendant Sweetie Pie's Kitchen resides in Missouri. Okay, he made some bad transactions, some bad moves, and according to this, Miss Robbie was not in approval of any of it. And then when it gets down to the general allegations, it seems that Miss Robbie didn't even know about some of the things. And this again all happened after the death of Andre Montgomery. Now, according to YL, Tim did not have that amount of money to do all of this. So he was taking out loans and he was depending upon some sort of cash to come in so that he could square things away with the people that he had loaned money from. Does that make sense to you guys? And if you have questions, coming up, I may have them already pulled up on the board. I may be able to, get that for you. Hey, Keish. I was commenting on your last video. Were you, LP? Thank you. Number 14, the sole owner of plaintiff Robbie Montgomery, Miss Robbie, opened her first restaurant in Delwood, Missouri in 1996 under the trade name and services marked Sweetie Pies with the trademark sign on it. Herein, the Sweetie Pies mark, which means herein she owns this and she can do what she wants with that trademark. She purchased that. She owns that. She filed that. So nobody else can actually use that name because she is the owner. Point blank in the period. So if she does business with somebody, they have to understand that she's the boss. She's the woman in charge. Number 15, the plaintiff subsequently registered its service mark at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And it gives her number for Sweetie Pies, registered August 28, 2012. So the Sweetie Pies registration in the international class of 043, which if you've ever owned a business, whether it's a brick and mortar or if it's, a virtual business or anything like, Avon or whatever, and you have people coming, to you, you have to have that stuff, meaning that they can park on your place of business. They can come in and do business with you, and you have a license to actually do retail. That's what that means. I love the popcorn. And look, I wish y'all could see me because I'm sipping on my drink. I got some, oh my God, this iced tea is so good. But listen, there's so many. I'm just going to go down. All right. Everybody said, well, Miss Robbie sued Tim because he was using her name to open up all these restaurants. It was not just that. Number 16 is for the cookbooks. Moreover, plaintiff has applied to federally register its standard character mark Sweetie Pies for cookbooks as well. The application is currently pending before the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Number 17, the authorization of restaurants, the common law marks. So that means that nobody on this planet can actually open up a restaurant without the approval of who? Miss Robbie. This is her trademark. So what page is this? This is page number 5. So this is where the original Sweetie Pies trademark, went down, and then Sweetie Pies is the actual name. Since 1996, the plaintiff and its approved affiliates have developed and prompted their restaurant business under the Sweetie Pies mark. So later on down in this, and you can see how many things were in here. It's like it just goes on and on and on. By number 22, it talks about the URL www.sweetiepieskitchen.com. And so now we have a website, and I'm like, what could he possibly have been doing with the website? Well, related goods and merchandising via the Sweetie Pies website. What did you possibly put on this website? And it sounds crazy, but really it could have been something as small as a sticker. But whatever it was, I told you you can't do it, and you did it anyway. So now we're in court for this. When I tell you the articles in this is so ridiculous, it goes on and on and on. Look at that, 26, 27, 28, 29. Literally, after I finish this, I will paste this. This is a PDF, so you have to have a PDF reader in order to see it, but I'll place the link in the description box after the live stream so you guys can read it for yourself if you want. But this is unheard of. By the time you get to number 29, by the virtue of the goodwill and reputation for quality associated with the Sweetie Pie's mark, the extensive restaurant sales and marketing under the Sweetie Pie's mark, and the national fame and recognition of the Sweetie Pie's trademark due to the success of the Sweetie Pie show and cookbook, not Tim Norman. Did you hear what the law said? It is the fame and recognition of Sweetie Pie's mark due to the success of the Sweetie Pie's show and cookbook, not what Tim Norman said back in 2014 to Fox 2 Now News, saying that he was the reason Sweetie Pie's was on the mark. Sweetie Pie's has become St. Louis staple that is now spreading its wing. The man behind the brand is Tim Norman. So the actual lawsuit that we're looking at started with this crap here. And so when you go to what we call the the United States Department of Justice.gov, and you look up this lawsuit, you now see all the articles that were listed in the lawsuit that, and I mean, like, there's nothing uncovered, going down to his reputation and why he wouldn't be, hi Happy Scrappy, why he wouldn't be the best representative for the Sweetie Pie's brand, which includes the trademark, the restaurants, and the cookbook. It didn't say anything about the tea, though, and I know that they were trying to push for the Sweetie Pie's tea, but I'm not even sure if that got off the ground unless Tim did it and it just wasn't, in there. So then we get to Article B, the defendant's infringing mark and theft of monies from the plaintiff. This right here is where I got glued. I put on my reading glasses and I said, okay, now we're getting down to some things. I want to know what happened with this money, because she did file against him for theft of monies. Now, this does not include the monies that disappeared from her house, you guys. This is talking about the money that disappeared from the restaurant. And this is in Article 2. And then we get down to number Article 32, where the defendants are operating a restaurant in North Hollywood, California, the California restaurant, under the name TJ's Sweetie Pie's NoHo. Now, I'm going to stop right there and explain to you on the show. Do you guys remember the episode where Tim told Miss Robbie that, yes, I named the restaurant in California after TJ? And I guess he was expecting Miss Robbie to just be so overjoyed, And she said, well, I understand you're trying to secure some things for TJ, but you didn't clarify this with me. I had no idea. This is not going to go down like that. At this particular time, before this even happened, the restaurant had already been robbed or money had come up missing. And this is when Tim tried to bring in another manager, like a general manager. The first one didn't work out, so he brought in someone else along with Danielle. So around this particular time, TJ Sweetie Pie's NoHo opened up, and he took Danielle with him along to California. And I think Charles went too, so they could open up this restaurant. And along with Tim, supposedly went the money that was missing from the restaurant, which is why Article B says defendants infringing mark and theft of monies from the plaintiff. Hey, Purple. So do you understand now the timeline? And she's going down each article bit by bit. She's talking about the restaurant, the trademark, the Sweetie Pie show, and the Sweetie Pie's cookbook. And when it gets down to Article B, she brings in the theft of the money. So no, Miss Robbie was not stupid enough to think that Tim may not have taken the money. You needed the money to open up a restaurant because you didn't have what you needed to open up the restaurant. And then we go to the Instagram, and she puts this in Article 34. You cannot open up an Instagram under the Sweetie Pie's NoHo name because she owns in the cookbook and everything else, but now you bring in the Sweetie Pies um, trademark that's used on Instagram, and you also have made a website called the sweetiepiesnoho.com. So, number 35, the defendants used the following signage and design on the California's restaurants' signage. Okay, it looks very similar, does it not? You have the picture of TJ and he's the little baby on Sweetie Pies, but we know that you took the base of this from the Sweetie Pies logo. So now this is in the lawsuit as well. So everything that she was suing him for, it wasn't just him using the actual name, but every nitpicking thing that he did for this is right here in this article, in all of these articles. And it was filed July 26, 2016. And it's a whole bunch of stuff, as you can see. Okay, even down to look at number 43. She talks about the plaintiff's accounts and funds maintained in the connection with his management. So he was funneling money out of the restaurant account, out of the main account, to do all of this stuff. And then after this was filed, he had to get the money from somewhere. And so then he started, borrowing money. And we saw that on one of the, I think it was the last season, and he was talking to Miss Robbie's friend, and they were standing in a new building, and he was trying to tell Miss Robbie, "Oh no, I don't think this is a good idea. This is not a good, this is not a good look." And it was just a big old mess. And I sat there and looked at this man. I'm just like, I wish he could have seen my face. I'm like, wow, this is so ridiculous. Okay, I am checking out something real quick here. I'm going to go back. The Clarion Ledger pretty much went down some of the stuff that happened in the trial or is going to happen in the trial. And let me just let you guys know something as well, that this right here, his court date has not even gotten on record. There's no court date on record for him coming up because one of these articles said, and I quote, that his lawyers have pushed back. So because he's working with this team of lawyers, he doesn't have a tentative court date yet. So the trial, we don't know when the trial is going to start. But of course, you know me, I will be finding this out as soon as I can. Hey, Just Teresa. I'm trying to find you guys some music so I can go and see what's going on with Luther, because I don't want you guys just sitting here. All right, let's see. This is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. They make it too hard to do anything. All right, I'm going to let you guys sit here and read a little bit of this. And let me check on Luther, and I will be right back. I do apologize once again. I had no idea. People just don't respect you when your house is connected to your office. It is ridiculous. 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. back. I'm here. We got the CPAP machine working. The CPAP machine is working. Thank you, Purple. Who is that? Teresa said, rest in peace, Luther. I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to kill him. I am back. All right. We're going to go to the Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office in Eastern District of Missouri. Now, the first article was placed on Thursday, August the 20th, and it says that it was updated. Now, I saw that earlier. Let me see. This is August the 18th, and I think this article was August the 20th, so I need to move these around. Started on August 18th, ended up updating on August the 20th. United States Attorney's Office. Now, if you ever want to know, these websites are connected, okay? So the United States Department of Justice and the United States Attorney's Office are all connected. You see how they have like similar emblems? This is all .gov stuff, okay? This is how you can research somebody. You just go up here to search, you pop in their name, you hit search, and everything will come up. Everything that is public record will come up free of charge. You don't have to, pay for this at all. This is free. All right, let's look at something for a minute. This was for immediate release to the public. Man charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of murder for hire resulting in death. This is a charge, okay? And then when you get here, it was updated to indicted for conspiracy to commit murder for hire and murder for hire, and the rest of it we know resulting in death. This is another charge. So there are two separate charges and two separate articles. The first charge was for immediate release to the public on August 18th. Again, the second charge was for immediate release to the public on August the 20th. So everything about these charges has already been put in, and there are asterisks by the FBI statements. They are not very long. So let's look at the first one. All right, St. Louis. James Timothy Norman, 41 of Jackson, Mississippi, because that's where he was living at the time. And somebody asked me, he's not from Jackson, Mississippi. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, Tim was birthed, and they are from Jackson, Mississippi. So it does make sense that they would actually go back and put a restaurant, Sweetie Pies, in Jackson, Mississippi. So by the time the show went off the air and Tim and Miss Robbie cleared the air and they're back in good graces, Tim was running the restaurant in Jackson, Mississippi. So he was a resident there. He had a home there. The police picked him up in Jackson, Mississippi at his house. So when he was arrested, he was at home. Okay? So this is why this article reads as such. James Timothy Norman, 41 of Jackson, Mississippi, was charged by a federal complaint on August the 11th, 2020. He was arrested in the morning in Jackson, Mississippi, and Norman was charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire resulting in death. So that's what all of this article is talking about. It is very clear at the beginning of each article that the states and the law enforcement put out what happened. If you want to get the timeline of this, of course, I'll put this in the description box as well, so you can look at it at any time. It looks like one big old paragraph, but there's actually a timeline in here. According to the complaint, Norman conspired with Terica Ellis and others to facilitate of interstate commerce, namely a cellular telephone, to commit a murder for hire in exchange for United States currency, meaning in exchange for money, in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1958. All right, in 2014, Norman obtained a $450,000 life insurance policy on his 18-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery. So this is where the year 18 comes in at. No, Andre was not 18 when he passed away, but when Tim decided to take out the $450,000 policies, he was 18 years old. So it's clarified right here. Law enforcement says that on which Norman was the sole beneficiary. There was no one else as a beneficiary named on that policy. Okay. In the days leading up to Montgomery's murder, Ellis, an exotic dancer residing in Memphis, Tennessee, so that's where she was residing, she communicated with Montgomery and informed him that she was planning to be in St. Louis on March 13th, 2016. The day before Montgomery's murder, Norman flew to St. Louis, Missouri, from his home in Los Angeles, California. So, before he was even picked up, and before all of this was going on, now you see how many houses Tim has. At that particular point in time, Tim was worth a lot of money. So I'm gonna scroll up a little bit because I want to check this out while you guys are here. Tim Norman, and I saw this earlier. Net worth. Thank you, Just Be Real. I appreciate it. And shout out to the 154 people in the room. I appreciate you guys being here. So we're going to check this out. What's the net worth of Tim Norman right now? $500,000. There's absolutely no way Tim could be paying for this attorney if he's only worth $500,000, which means it is actually true that is stated by the courts that a private sector is paying for the team. Okay, he could have hired the initial guy, but now that the team is here, there's absolutely no way. If he's only worth $500,000, Tim Norman's net worth. Tim Norman is an American entrepreneur, musician, and reality television personality who has a net worth of $500,000. Okay? So there you go. There's proof. Somebody asked me, how much is Tim worth anyway? $500,000. Exactly, living. That's not a lot at all. That is not a lot of money. And in this picture, you can see Tim, doing his public speaking thing. And I'm pretty sure, some of his family were out there, helping him and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what he does. He was known to the community as someone who, spoke to the youth, and, he did public speaking. Nobody really cared about Tim's music and all that kind of stuff. He was making a name for himself out in the community. He's been accused of being a narcissist, and people like that love attention. So with the $500,000 that he's now worth, it would seem kind of stupid to actually get insurance for $450,000 unless he was flat broke or going flat broke. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, just a fan looking in on it, there had to be more than $450,000 of insurance money that led up to Montgomery's murder. Does that make sense? No. LP, a private sector, is another attorney's, what do they call it? I can't remember. Help me out, you guys. They're paying on behalf of Tim in hopes of, this, grand marketing scheme. So even though Miss Robbie, and we can look up Miss Robbie's net worth, because she can pay for it, but she's not included or as a private sector because she has nothing to do with litigation or law or anything of that nature. So we're going to look up Robbie Montgomery net worth. I did look this up a few days ago when I thought about doing this. Robbie Montgomery's net worth salary. Robbie Montgomery is an American businesswoman and former backup singer who has a net worth of $12 million. Robbie Montgomery was born in St. Louis, Missouri. So she's worth $12 million. So she could, but because she's not a part of law, she cannot be a part of this quote-unquote private sector, which is probably his lawyer backing up with one of the companies that they represent. I mean, that would be the easiest thing, you know what I'm saying? We represent, gobs and gobs of, companies. So I could definitely see um how this could go down. Okay, for some reason one of these pages kind of got me stuck, so I'm going to get out of that and go back to the Department of Justice. All right, here we go. We did our research on the Department of Justice. We know that the two charges are up and they are pending, and we also know that Tim does not have a tentative date for the trials to start. The lawyer, the judge, they're waiting on the lawyers, I should say. They're waiting on Tim's lawyers, all right? Um this whole timeline breakdown thing right here in the middle of this is FBI information that you guys already know from the time the burner phones were activated up until the times they threw them in the dumpster. Or I should say, Terica Ellis threw them in the dumpster. She threw hers in the dumpster. The arrests are part of an operation, Lagond, which is a federal partnership with the local law enforcement to address the increase in homicides and violent crime in St. Louis in 2020. So the way this all got started is because of a legal operation. Can you imagine that? Listen, do you know what that means? Let me read this to you guys. The arrests are part of an Operation Lagon, which is a federal partnership with the local law enforcement to address the increase in homicides and violent crime in St. Louis in 2020. The operation honors the memory of 4-year-old Lagon, and I'm not even going to attempt his last name because I can't pronounce it, but one of the youngest fatalities during a record-breaking year of homicides and shootings. So Andre Montgomery wasn't even a part of this when the FBI was even brought in. Tim actually thought he got away with this. So do you understand how this makes perfect sense? Thank God for justice.gov. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all just bring so much light to this thing. The operation honors the 4-year-old Lagon, which is why it's called Operation Lagon. Okay, one of the youngest fatalities during the record-breaking year of homicides and shootings. So additional federal agents were assigned to the operation from the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, Drug Enforcement Administration, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the U.S. Marshals Service. Sir, I hate to say this, but there is absolutely no way you won't be doing time. You're going to prison. And I'm not laughing because I'm happy. When you do research like this and you're a commentator like myself, this stuff is amazing. Are you guys not glued to this? LP, I know you're excited with me. And yes, LP, it is another business that is connected to his attorney's operation. So like I said, 9 times out of 10, somebody that they represent probably got wind of this because his attorney was talking about it, and they said, well, if you need anything, I'm here for you. I'll back you up. Well, let's just get the whole team on this because we've got the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the U.S. Marshal Service, so we need some help. Good God Almighty, you are so not getting off. Like, I didn't think it was this deep. But when you look at the government stuff and what they have, it does pay. Now, let me just say this. I do appreciate the articles that people put out, but this is the reason why I like to go to the United States Attorney's Office and then looking up the United States Department of Justice, because this stuff is legal record, and they will have stuff in here that articles on regular internet just won't have. Nobody that has a newspaper or a blog had this information. You have got to understand how deep this is. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Office Homicide Section and Federal Bureau of Investigation are investigating these current charges. Thank you, Living Life. Teleferro. I appreciate it. Thank you, because I was not going to mess up that boy's name. God rest his soul. I was not I was not going to I was not going to have it. But do you understand, cuz it's still 2020. Do you understand that because of this little young soul, this 4-year-old child, it's because of him, and it's because of his operation that was put in his name, that Tim Norman got caught. Everything happens for a reason. There is no happenstance. This happened for a reason. And the Lagonde operations, again, 4 years, additional federal agents were assigned to the operation from the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and of course, the U.S. Marshal Service. And the FBI are still investigating everything to this day. A criminal complaint is merely an accusation, but the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty of law. We completely understand that. And at the end of every article, they will put that down there because they have to. But the FBI does not bust in your house in the middle of the morning to come and take you to jail unless they have concrete evidence that you did something wrong. Okay? Did anybody else have this information? Am I late? Am I the only person that didn't know this? Because if you tell me, yep, you're the only person that didn't know this, I'm going to feel real stupid. Hey, Lily, I'm going to feel real dumb if somebody else already reported this. But this is, when I was looking at it, I said, there's no way I can sit here and make a video of this because I want to talk to the people. I want to see what you guys have to think about this. LP says, but what would make him think he could get away? Him trying to cash out the insurance. But look, because of what we just found out, had it not been for this little 4-year-old boy and the Operation Legrand, even saying, you know what, we need to put this here in action, he probably would have gotten away with it. I mean, look at it. Who would have actually thought that Tim was smart enough to get burner phones? I would have thought that, everybody would have been using their own, cell phone. But Tim said, no, 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 no. We're going to get some disposable phones and we're going to, do this because we don't want anybody tracking everything that we talk about on our cell phones. So whenever we communicate about this, I am telling you, when that boy, Andre Montgomery, was found out cooperating with the police, Tim decided that he was going to do something about this because there's more to the story than we know. I would, if I was a betting woman, you guys, I would bet money that there is some stuff Tim Norman has done that is in the dark that Andre possibly could have known about. And Tim did not want that to be told. Because there is no evidence that Tim would have even committed murder for hire or any of this because he had already had the insurance for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Does it really take you that long to plot a murder? You know what I'm saying? You've already had this insurance policy for 2 years. So you and YL, y'all were in the clear. Tim was just like, he's living a rough life. He's going down the wrong path. We thought he was going to do something when he graduated, but, he's just being a thug. So I'm going to get some insurance on him. I'm going to go to my friend YL and I'm going to get some insurance on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the road he's going down. But as soon as he heard Andre's coming back in town because he's cooperating with the police because they want to question him about who robbed Miss Robbie's house while she was on vacation. Now, at the time that Andre Montgomery had graduated, he told his family, when I go back to St. Louis, if anything happens to me, I can guarantee you it's Tim. You look at the tapes, you look at the show, and how Tim was so aggressive with Charles and Andre. Of course, Andre would think that because he thinks his uncle hates him. And now I'm beginning to think that, yeah, Tim didn't like Andre, and Andre and Charles always stuck together. So it's a possibility that, hey, and listen, you can't touch Charles. Okay? I don't know if he's got insurance money on Charles, but you're not going to touch Charles. But you tried it with Andre. The more and more I look into this case, you guys, I promise you, I can't see a way out for this man. There's absolutely no way. With all of this heat backing up, the, I just don't see it. If somebody could give me something. I'm like, look, we're already in a court. Give me something. Give me something because I don't have it. I don't see it and I don't have it. Hi, Cynthia. Tim got that kind of mind. He thinks that he's better and above everyone else. Sure, he would think that way. He knew he had gotten off. Look how many years it has been. He knew he got away with it. He didn't get the money, but he got rid of Andre. So does that mean that he's, in Miss Robbie's good graces again? Miss Robbie's going to need somebody to lean on, which is just pitiful for a grown man. That's pitiful. That's really a broken man all day, every day. That's crazy. To be so, just a hard up. Like, grown ups can have conversations. You can go to counseling. You can get a life coach. You know what I'm saying? And talk this stuff out. You do not have to be jealous of someone who's 18 years of age. Now, let's pretend like, maybe Tim did actually care a little bit and that's why he got, the life insurance policies or whatever, but you still would have said, Andre, I need your signature for this because if something does happen to you, I'll be able to help the family out. You know what I'm saying? But let's pretend like Tim actually did get that money. He was able to get the money. Do you think that he would have helped Andre's mother out or Andre's siblings? I agree, LP. He's definitely more than broken. But you guys don't actually think that Tim would have, helped the family out at this point. Living says that Tim thought he could outsmart everybody, but the law snatched him up. I'm telling you, who would have thought? Because and I look at other people's videos and stuff all the time, and I have never seen anybody that snatched up this little bit of information. This is some heat. This is some heat. I would be scared. I almost cussed. I would be scared to death. I am not lying. I'd be scared to death. And this is public record. And so I know he has access to this. And if I looked on this article and saw this, and this was updated September the 1st, 2020, and here it is November, and they're still investigating this, do you know how much stuff they probably have on this dude? Woo-wee. Okay? So here, the updated version is a federal grand jury indicted James Timothy Norman, 41 years of age, of Jackson, Mississippi, and Terica Ellis, 36, of Memphis, Tennessee, for the offenses of conspiracy to commit murder for hire and murder for hire resulting in death. The grand jury also charged Norman. So this is number 3. Also charged Norman NYL, who's 42 years old, also of St. Louis, Missouri, with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. So Tim has 3 he has 3 things against him. Terica has 2, YL has 3. Or no, YL just has the 1 because he wasn't involved. We don't know if he was involved. Let me put it like this. Allegedly, YL is not involved. So that means that YL wouldn't have been the shooter, and YL would not, he has to say, I don't have any knowledge of what Tim was planning. So right now, YL just has 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, while Tim Norman and Terica Ellis have 2, and then Tim has 3 because he has connected now YL and Terica because of this whole mastermind. And by the way, I don't know if I told you guys this before, but YL and Terica do know each other. they have Instagram and Twitter posts that go back about 10 years. So yes, YL actually has met Terica at the strip club. They have taken pictures together, so they do know each other. YL, Timothy, and Terica go way back. Oh, LP. When I tell you YL is probably, spilling his guts to his lawyer, we don't know. But see, Allison, this right here takes a turn because we didn't think YL knew anybody except for Tim. YL knew Andre because of the family, because of the show. He knew Tim because of the studio, and he knew Terica because of the strip club. So you have all four of these people that actually know each other. So there's no telling. Behind the scenes, these people could have been plotting this, you know, at the very beginning. We don't know. But it doesn't look good on top of all the heat that you've got coming from law enforcement and the fact that you guys all know each other, so you could have been plotting this together from day one. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Janetta, Tim will be taken out in prison. I mean, it has happened before. I tell you, some prisoners, depending on where you are, especially in the South, they do not like it when you mess with, kids, when you mess with someone that's younger than you, when you turn on your family. There are some things that, people will just take you out for. And then there are some prisoners that have access to people on the other side out here that are free. And if somebody wanted to call in a favor, we've seen that happen on the news before. Hey, Miyashi. YL must know more than what he's saying. He could. I'm saying that Terica and YL probably know more than what than what we know they're talking about. I'm pretty sure that YL is talking to his private lawyer. Tim is telling his team of lawyers whatever, and Terica doesn't have a private lawyer for anything. She can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So Terica is, in my eyes, it's looking a little shaky for her because she only has, what she has, what they give you, for free. So my heart goes out to Miss Robbie Allison and definitely Andre's mom, because I know that they've seen these documents. I know they know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Andre's mom. I know she knows this information, and this has to be like devastating. You go on down this article, and law enforcement says the arrest of Norman and Ellis are part of an operation, Lagon, which is a federal partnership with local law enforcement to address the increase of homicides and violent crime in St. Louis. So they're trying to increase homicide and violent crimes. So as they are doing the investigation, something pops up somewhere. I don't know if it was in records. I don't know if they found the burner phones. I don't know. Because, we're on the outside looking at, we don't know. But when that 4-year-old child lost his life, it was just it says this is one of the youngest fatalities during a record-breaking year of homicides and shootings. And whatever they found in their investigation led all the way backwards to Tim Norman. What that was, I am itching to know. Because they're looking at cases in the year 2020. They're not thinking about anything that happened in the past. It's right here in black and white. Imagine that. They're doing an investigation. They want to know about this 4-year-old boy. They have launched an Operation Lagon for this child, and honoring him and all of the fatalities. 2020 was a year breaking for homicides and shootings and violent crimes. And all of a sudden, there's a little bit of information that wakes somebody up and says, we need to look at Tim Norman, because his nephew was shot. We need to look into this. Now, Terica Ellis, Tim Norman, and YL think that they are scot-free. YL said, oh, well, he couldn't get the money anyway, so I know I'm in the clear. Meanwhile, Tim is at home in the morning, probably having toast and coffee. A knock on the door. He opens the door. Mr. Norman, you're under arrest. For what? Immediately he says, this is a setup. I'm set up. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody set me up. Somebody is framing me for this. But the thing is, the evidence had to have pointed clear as day to Tim in order for him to have been arrested 4 years later. So you can understand Black America looking at Tim like an idiot going, I can't believe you did this. I mean, as his mother, I feel for her because I can't imagine what she's thinking. But I would take a look at this paperwork if I was her. If I was Miss Robbie Montgomery, I would take a look at this paperwork. And it's easy to find if I can find it, because I don't even listen. The only reason I like law enforcement is because of them stupid shows on TV like Snapped and First 48 and stuff like that. This is not my job. So if I can find this, anybody can. And Miss Robbie needs to look at this, and she needs to look at this evidence, and she needs to be like, asking Tim some more serious questions than, did you do this? Why did you get the burner phones? Why were you conversing with Terica Ellis on a burner phone when you have a perfectly working cell phone, son? What was that about? Tim, my dear son, why did you have a secret policy for $450,000 out on your nephew? I'd like to know that, because nobody knew you had it. If I was Miss Robbie, I would be saying, Tim, my only remaining living son, somebody in the family has reported in the news that you have a policy out for me for $1 million. I don't remember signing that document. Is that true? There's some questions that Tim needs to answer. I know, LP, but boy, wouldn't it be great if somebody started telling the truth? Isn't this wild, though? Is this, you guys, is this not wild? This is crazy. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. Just knowing that 4 years later, because of a 4-year-old, beautiful young boy, an investigation started. I mean, it was like St. Louis got fed up. We're not taking this anymore. 4 years old, you should not have lost your life. This is ridiculous. We've got to do something. So Homeland Security, the FBI, Drug Enforcement, Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and the U.S. Marshal, they get together and say, that's it. We're fixing to start looking into this stuff. And you mean to tell me that Tim Norman is the only case from way back then that popped up? Come on. There has to be a God somewhere. Somewhere in the atmosphere. You know what I mean, now, because they're living their lives, They're living their lives. I don't know if Terica's still stripping, but she's doing something. She's riding around with her little weave and makeup. YL, we don't know what he's doing, but now we know that he's lost his license, so he won't be doing anything in the way of insurance fraud anymore, because that's over with. So, but whatever he was doing at the time, I'm pretty sure he still had his insurance license. So, what happens to all those policies, YL, that you hooked people up with? I guess they don't have insurance anymore, or probably was given another agent, because you don't have a license anymore and you never will again. These people said we got away with murder until 2020 happened. As my grandmother used to say, well, look at God. Well, you tried it. But here, see, the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Eastern District of Missouri, has an article chock full of stuff I mean, everything. Listen to this. Listen to this. In the life insurance policy that ultimately issued Norman obtaining a $200,000 policy as well as a $200,000 accidental death rider, hello, that would pay out in the event that Montgomery died of something other than natural causes, which would have been what, audience? The bullet. And a $50,000 10-year term rider that would pay out if Montgomery died within 10 years of the policy's insurance in 2014, which means that Andre would have had to have died of something other than natural causes in the last 10 in immediate 10 years of getting this policy. So this is where you get the number. Okay? Let me make sure you understand this. I'm right here in the middle, right here where my cursor is. In the life insurance policy that ultimately issued, Norman obtained a $200,000 policy as well as a $200,000 accidental death rider that would pay out in the event that Montgomery died of something other than natural causes. And number 3, a $50,000 10-year term rider that would pay out if Montgomery died within 10 years of the policy's issuance in 2014. So this is where you get the numbers from. So it was a shoo-in after Tim said, we got to do something about Andre because he's cooperating with the police. He probably thought, got to get him within 10 years anyway so we can get the full amount. So he goes ahead, he talks to YL, he talks to Terica. They go ahead and set up this master plan. Maybe Terica says, I got a shooter for you. I know who can do it. He's a professional. He's quiet. He'll get the job done in and out, which is the reason why she didn't turn back to help Andre or even call him to see if he was okay, because she said she heard the gunshots, right? She heard the gunshots, but she didn't take time to even call him to see if he was okay. Not from the burner phone and not from her regular cell phone. She just left, which makes me think she had something else to do with it besides setting him up to come outside. And it had to be something worthwhile. I do not believe it was a pair of pants, but that's what she said. But this had to be like a pair of pants from MC Hammer or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this had to be, did you get a pair of pants from Nelly that he wore in the last video? You know what I'm saying? Like, this had to be something major, a pair of pants. Not a pair of pants from Walmart. Not everybody's got Tommy Hilfiger, not that. You know what I'm saying? But you said that you lured Andre outside with a pair of pants. He comes, he sits in the car. You talk to him for an allotted amount of time. Probably got a text on your phone or something from Tim. All right, Andre, I gotta go. I gotta catch a flight. I'll see you later. Andre walks out of the car. He's standing out there, probably a little confused. Terica pulls off. The gun goes off, hits Andre in the head. He falls. And there is an allotted amount of time between Andre is shot and 911 comes to the rescue. Meanwhile, Terica is not checking on Andre, but she's still driving as she's talking to Tim. She tells Tim, I'm gone. It's done. I heard the gunshots. They hang up. She throws the phone in the dumpster and keeps going. So she was caught because she was stupid enough to throw the phone in the dumpster. How the FBI got a hold of this is beyond me. I don't know. That is something that, please, God, make a way for me to be in the midst of this trial, because I want to know how they even knew that bit of information. I mean, like, the FBI is amazing to me. But this is just my scenario. I don't know if that's the way it happened for real, but it makes sense for it to play out like that. And so you've gone on with your life, Terica, whatever you're doing with your $10,000. YL, he goes back to his life and he's thinking, well, I didn't do anything much. So, if Tim gets caught, I don't have anything to do with it. And Tim goes on with his life because he has a restaurant in LA and a home in LA. And he has a home in, Mississippi, and he's, up there. He's just working, and, he has his, 3 houses in St. Louis, and, he's just living the happy old life, until the FBI knocks on his door. And you don't have enough time to make a good lie up because you didn't know they were coming. It's almost like, ladies and gentlemen, these people didn't like, it wasn't on their conscience. It didn't weigh on them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a second thought. It was like, oh, well, it's done. Tim didn't get any money, Terica would have said, but I got mine. So, whatever. I don't know if YL got paid for it, but somebody had to be paying the premiums on all of these insurance policies. Yes. So YL made his little chunk of change. I'm telling you. I don't see a way out for Tim. I know I say this every single time, but just looking at this, because today was my first time mulling over this from the United States Attorney's Office, and this is Eastern District of Missouri. So this was like my very first time mulling over any of this, the official stuff. I always look at the articles to see if anybody has any news that I can commentate on, but today something just said, you need to look this up because there's some stuff missing that nobody else is saying. And so now that we understand what kind of heat is on this case, it changes everything. Like, it literally changes everything. And I never would, I don't know what made me get up and do this, but I never would have known any of this because nobody said anything. But this is wild. Because of a 4-year-old that suffered fatalities, Tim Norman was caught. Miss Ringham says that even you keep reporting, Terica said, Tim said his boys were ready yet. Yeah, I mean, she did say something to the effect of, this is what she told her court-appointed lawyer, was that Tim said his boys were ready to get up on Andre. Now, to me, that doesn't hold water. What holds water is what's in this this topical report right here. That's what holds water, is the United States Attorney's Office, United States Department of Justice. He probably knew some bad boys. Of course. He's an ex-con. And look at all of the friends that he made, in the restaurants. Everybody in there was an ex-con. Rita said, I can't figure out why Tim needed to fly to St. Louis that night. I don't know. Like, he just had to be there, perhaps. Maybe he was the shooter. We don't know. But he didn't have to be there if the shooter was there and Terica was there getting the job done. Unless he had to come in for some business or he was checking on that other restaurant. It would have made sense for him to stay wherever he was at, which would have been Mississippi or California. It would have made sense for him to be at one of his houses or at one of his restaurants. Living says Tim is toast, right, like bacon. He is. After, I'm telling you, what a difference a day of examination makes. Boy, if I was Miss Robbie, I would be asking questions left and right. Tim, I don't care if you get mad at me. I need to know some things. I need to know some things. I'm telling you, there is absolutely no way. And just looking at this, I'm looking at bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is devastating. I'm trying to figure out why my screen, I'm looking at this and the screen's pink, but my screen isn't. Miss says he had to pay the shooter. He had to pay the shooter. In a perfect world for me, I'm saying that it would look like Terica would set it up because she works at the strip club and stuff like that. But Tim doesn't have a normal mind. So, somebody just asked a good question. How come Tim had to fly back in? You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, but if Tim isn't the shooter, then he would have to pay the shooter. So I'm pretty sure they've said, Tim, are you the shooter? Terica, are you the shooter? Or YL, were you the shooter? And if you weren't, somebody knows it. That's why I'm saying these three people, out of these three people, somebody, one of them knows who the shooter was and can put all this to rest. It doesn't make sense that they let this linger on. Doesn't even have to be a trial. Just tell the truth. Who pulled the trigger? Who pulled the trigger? Yeah, he was making sure that the job was done. That's the only thing. He was making sure the job was done. Because you don't have any business there. At that time of night, as my mom would say, you got no business, being on an airplane, you just flying back and forth, you just extra. Please. Shout out to the 260. I'm sorry I didn't greet you guys, but this is just a bit abnormal. I did not know that I was gonna like wander up on all of this stuff until I actually started looking into it, and yeah, this is what happened. So do accept my apologies. Going back to this docket here on the court. I hope that I explained very well to you why the mother of Tim Norman, actually Miss Robbie, she filed the lawsuit against him. It was everything, and it was even more. I mean, down here on 57, you guys, he actually put, it says, indeed, public confusion has in fact occurred, as evident from restaurant reviews left for the California restaurant on the review site Yelp.com. True and correct copies of reviews left on Yelp.com are attached. And so they actually attached stuff that people had to say. Let's look at some of the stuff that the court says people had to say. California restaurant, defendant Norman. Norman is going to ruin his mother's reputation and her business if he doesn't slow down and recalibrate. Somebody else said, first of all, welcome to the LA area. I've been patiently waiting for your arrival. Miss Robbie, my mouth was a bit disappointed, but I won't give up on y'all. After all those people lined up at your places in St. Louis surely weren't lined up for nothing. And someone else said, I am hoping things improve so Miss Robbie's brand is not ruined. And as you can see on the screen, the list goes on and on and on. Not one good review. Somebody said, I'm curious, did Miss Robbie just want to throw a restaurant on the West Coast real quick? Because it sure tastes like it. Now, this is not what Tim said in the article at the beginning of this video. At the beginning of this video, at the beginning of this live stream, Tim took credit for putting Sweetie Pies on the map. No, Deborah, she's not. It really is a private sector connected to his team of lawyers. As a matter of fact, I think the private sector came from an organization called Super Lawyers. Let me see if I get the right. Let me see nominations for Super Lawyers. I'm just going to take a peek and see nominees for Super Lawyers. Deadlines for Michigan, Mount States, and Oregon. And this is the Super Lawyers website, so you have to log in to see the nominees. If I had to guess, I bet you Tim's attorney is on here. So this is Super Lawyers, a digital magazine, and Super Lawyers is a list of the best of the best of the best. And so immediately my mind came here when they said private sector, because Tim's lawyer is already a part of this organization. So it does, it does. I mean, it speaks highly of his attorney. He has a good attorney. I don't know if it's gonna help his situation. Missouri, that's what I'm looking for. St. Louis super lawyers. Let's take a look. The top 50. They need to keep him locked up, Drew said. So if you've never heard of super lawyers before, I just kind of stumbled upon this list when the Tim Norman case first started, and then all of a sudden, Tim got this private lawyer, and he popped up on the super lawyer. So if you're not familiar with this, go look at my playlist and scroll down to where you will see I'm introducing you to Tim's lawyer. He's already on this list, so he doesn't, you know, if he has to be a nominee again for 2021, he'll be a shoe-in. But of course, I am not a super lawyer, so I can't log into any of this foolishness. But I hear tell it is, one of the largest operations if you need to get, a quote unquote super lawyer. So this was really shocking. I'm like, how did he afford to get this lawyer? That's crazy. I didn't know. Boy, look at all these. So you can get you a lawyer for bad faith insurance, banking, environmental, real estate, just tax, utility stuff, bad contract. I mean, you can get a lawyer for just about anything. Wills, divorce, domestic violence, wrongful termination, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and all of these are like super lawyers. Sex abuse, sex offenses. These people will doggone, be on your side. And 9 times out of 10, they will win. So you could be a sex offender and get somebody off of the super lawyers list and possibly win a case. And I totally understand then why Tim would go, to this extreme. But again, what was his net worth? He's only worth, what was it, $400,000, $500,000 at this point. So yeah, not enough money to do this. So somebody stepped in, whoever this private sector is, and said, hey, this is a high profile case. We'll do this. We'll take you on. We don't believe you did this, Tim. We're shocked. You say you were set up. Let's do it. Now, what they're talking about behind the scenes is completely beyond me. But after looking at state evidence, absolutely not. Tim's not going anywhere. Tim is not going anywhere. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I mean, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing him. Now, they may get the death penalty taken off the tables, but there is no way. And I'm just looking at the list. I know I keep scrolling back and forth. I'm just looking at the super lawyer list. Who is, let me just check this out. Tim Norman's attorney. John Rogers. Man accused of murder for hire. He secured John Rogers. Norman's defense attorney, John Rogers, argued that Norman is not a likely flight risk and should be released to stay with his mother, and that fell through. That absolutely fell through. So let's just take a look at this attorney. Let's see what pops up, shall we? Let's do some digging. I'm interested to see what I can find. John Rogers, Law Group. Let me see this. John Rogers, super lawyers. Look at that. Oh yeah, I knew it. I knew he was a part of Super Lawyers. There he is, Super Lawyers, John P. Rogers, and this is the same guy that is representing along with his group. His law firm is rsblawfirm.com. So the entire group is now backing Tim Norman, and this is him. So I knew he was a part of Super Lawyers. I just needed to get there. So this is it. John Rogers, he's won everything. I don't think he's lost anything. He's a principal founding member of his group, um, Sevastanios and Bonte LLP. And John Rogers provides federal and state criminal defense to clients throughout the state of Missouri. He also has a firm in California, okay? So from the firm's office in St. Louis, he handles a variety of matters, including child pornography and other sex offenses, all right? Driving under the influence, murder, kidnapping, assault and battery. He handles drug possession and trafficking and white-collar crimes such as embezzlement, bank fraud, securities violations, and Medicare and Medicaid fraud. He handles, during his career, Mr. Rogers has tried more than 125 cases to verdict. Sunshine said Bruce probably hooked Tim up with an attorney fee since he's handling Tim's restaurants. He could be, but Miss Robbie is she's the boss. We've already seen her. She's at work. Miss Robbie's at work. I don't know what Bruce is doing, but we've already seen Miss Robbie at work. She's got her uniform on and she's handling everything. And she's standing by him for the sake of the business. I can't you know what I'm saying? Listen, that's her brand. I am not mad at Miss Robbie for handling, the business. I'm not mad at her for that because that's her brand. And all of these people just sat here and said, what was it on Yelp that, it looks ridiculous. Was it not on? Yeah, it's right here on the PDF from the courts. Yeah, I'm a super fan of Welcome to Sweetie Pies. I believe the problem may be that they are not up to speed yet on Ms. Robbie's way of preparing the food. Not one good review, ladies and gentlemen. So of course, Ms. Robbie had to save her reputation. She had to save her brand. That's what the whole lawsuit was about in the beginning in 2016 after Andre's death was that, hey, I'm going to sue you because you're wrecking my business. Bruce has a credit repair business now. Well, he needs to help his friend out because apparently, well, he probably won't get out. But if he does, he's going to need Bruce once again. So I hope him and Bruce are friends. I mean, you know what I mean? If they find him guilty, and that, yes, you did murder your nephew or you were the cause of the murder, then by all means, he needs to stay there. How is Sweetie Pie's restaurants doing? How is the restaurant doing? A lot better than when these were filed on Yelp. Now this right here is not about the ones in Mississippi. It's not about the ones in St. Louis, Missouri. This is about LA. The LA location is in dire need of Miss Robbie to get the food on track. So that I don't know how the LA restaurant is doing now or even if it's standing, but I know that Miss Robbie is handling things in Mississippi. She's handling things in St. Louis. She's going back and forth. And if I had to guess, I would say that Miss Robbie probably is at Tim's place in Mississippi, unless she just wanted to, get a home there for the sake of the restaurant. But, she's traveling. Like she's working. And everybody is chipping in to help, and because she's not going to give up. She's not going to let her brand go down. The woman is worth too much, and she's worked so hard on her reputation. So I can't imagine her, saying, well, you know what, let's just forget it. No. The Florent restaurant says that I've been exploring outside the city lately, and it's been strange to hit places other than my favorites. However, I found a familiar face in the county, Miss Robbie and her signature soul food. So in St. Louis, Missouri, her food is fine. Of course, with the pandemic and everything, it's going to take a hit. And in one of the articles, we did see a lot of people, going to the restaurant, giving Miss Robbie love and support. Um, but everybody took a hit, you know what I'm saying, because of the pandemic. And wasn't it in Texas? Was it when he was closing or thinking about closing that restaurant because it was just suffering because of the pandemic? So, this couldn't have helped. Tim's, antics being found out definitely didn't help. It says that Sweetie Pie is marked, is owned, controlled, and being used in a commerce by the plaintiff without the plaintiff's consent. Tim was doing this without her consent. So he was definitely, I mean, she could have went all the way. She could have sued him and been, in well right to do so, but he didn't have that much money back then, and he certainly doesn't have that kind of money now. Um but I think he learned his lesson, because after that lawsuit he stopped, with the foolishness. So yeah, I'm definitely going to put this in the description box so you guys can look at it and see for yourself. A look at his past legal issues. Now, I know that Tim, there was something that I found, record, and I didn't know that. Let me see. I'm gonna find out where it is for real. I have so many windows open. I need to cut some of this stuff. Might as well wonder my computer doesn't blow up. Tim Norman, kidnapping. Now, the new judge found out about this. I don't know why I keep spelling his name wrong. He was denied release, and I think this is probably the article that the judge said, no, 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 this guy has kidnapping and all kinds of stuff on his record. He's not going anywhere, and I do think he's a flight risk. Tim Norman from Welcome to Sweetie Pie is denied release from jail amid murder for hire case. So it was close to down at the bottom of this, and I had no idea that. I was like, now I knew about the armed robbery, but it said, wasn't it two McDonald's and just stupid stuff. It was two McDonald's and a car place, where they fix cars, and and then kidnapping. And I was like, what? So he did plead not guilty. We all know that. That's in the stuff. This is how Tim used to live, you guys. Look at this. This is what Tim is used to. This is how he used to roll. He owed a lot of money everywhere, but in Texas, because of that restaurant that he got sued for by Miss Robbie, and it's sad, he took advantage of his elderly mom. Really took advantage of everybody around him. You know what I mean? I would be so devastated to know that, if you're going to get involved with a professional criminal, which Tim is definitely not, but, dot your I's and cross your T's, and now you've taken everybody that was, in this down with you. So, yeah, I would be singing like a canary. This is all Tim's fault. Tim did this. Tim did everything. If I was Terica Ellis, I promise y'all. Hey, Purple, thank you for coming back. No, I don't know what happened. I think I got too many windows open, because this is how I normally do my research. And I'm usually live when I do my research. Diane said, I think so. I mean, listen. As my granddaughter would say, listen, Linda. This is ridiculous. I feel like, Tim is just, ugh, this is horrible. I mean, maybe he does like prison. I have a cousin that's like that. Every time he gets out, he stays out for a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months, and then he goes right back. Hi, Charlie. She told everyone that it was someone Andre knew, because he would never have gone outside for a stranger. Exactly. It was Terica. She confessed to it. Terica Ellis. I know. I don't know what's up with the buffering. I guess it's like, I don't know. Maybe everybody is on, online right now or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Let me shut some of these down. I'm done with this with most of this stuff. So I'm just going to shut some of this down and see if it works a little bit better. Because I do hate the buffering. And then look, you guys can't even see what's on the screen. Let me get one of these articles. There we go. All right. Hey, Charles. There, we were right here at Amo Mama. And they have Tim sitting on the airplane with his champagne and his key lime pie and, you know, all of this stuff, and his little broccoli and tomato salad that he can dip in his ranch, and, you know, just, you know, ridiculousness, and, you know, two glasses. So I don't know who was sitting on the opposite side of Tim, but I'm like, you know, for real, he needs to tell the world that he did it like they say, tell the truth and shame the devil. Yeah, I mean, he needs to do something, because like I said, he could actually put all this to rest. He could put this to rest if he wanted to. I don't see a reason. Wait, yeah, open it in the browser. I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm here. I don't know why. I'm sorry if I'm buffering. I can't tell on my end. Yeah, I can't tell. Okay. All right, so I opened up this thing so I could see the chat because I don't want to miss you guys saying anything. So let me drop these. Let me drop these links in the chat so you guys can get a hold of that. If you want to, just go ahead and check out those links, because I'm going to shut some of this down because it might be an issue. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat. It is pure greed. It had to be greed, but also I'm not going to omit the fact that, hey Santo, I'm not going to omit the fact that Tim has something to hide. And I feel like, you know, he took Andre out to hide whatever it is he was trying to hide. I just feel that way. You know, it was more than just money, because 2 years had gone by. I mean, like, there was something critical that he was trying to hide. Like, for real, for real. He was seriously trying to hide something, and Andre was the key to the whole thing. You're welcome. I wanted to go ahead and drop the links for you guys because of this buffering situation. So I guess that's just YouTube's way of telling me to get off the internet. So YouTube is like, get off the internet. All right, we don't want you here anymore. You've been online long enough. So all right, YouTube, I get you. But I am glad. I'm very happy that I was able to share this information with you guys, because at the end of the day, it really does pay to do your research. It does. It really does pay to do your research. And the stuff that I found out today, just, you know, looking at this stuff, I never would have known because nobody else was reporting that stuff. And so I'm hoping that you guys took note also of ways that you can get public record for free. You can actually look it up. You can go to the state, you can go to the city, and you can look that up for yourself. And I have no problem with looking this stuff up and reporting it to you guys, because the more knowledge we know about this, the more understanding we get from this. I just feel like he could be doing this. Like, he could be, you know, telling his own truth. So I don't understand why he's not telling the truth about anything. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that he wouldn't tell the truth about any of this. So I don't know. I don't know. Tim needs to cut the foolishness out for real. Just, you know, come on, Tim. Be honest with us. Just tell the truth. You know, just say, hey, this is what happened. Because again, like I said the last time, you guys, listen, if it were me in this situation, I don't know about you guys, but if it was me in this situation and I would be saying somebody set me up or I was framed, no way on God's green earth would I literally sit in jail without telling somebody that, hey, I'm being set up. Man, y'all need to look into this. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Purple. I just was making sure. I knew I had a lot of windows open because that's the way I do my research, but I never really get on air live while I'm researching. I usually have all my stuff copy and pasted so I can put it in the description box, but it was so much. I know I had like 15 or 20 windows open, but it was so much information. And just looking at, the law enforcement and how much heat, was on this case, all because of this 4-year-old little boy that lost his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't, listen, Black Lives Matter all day, every day. Black Lives Matter. And I hate that this young boy had to lose his life in order for St. Louis to launch, investigations like this to find out ways to make this stop. But at the same time, if it had not been for this event, it's just like, if Floyd hadn't lost his life, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff wouldn't have come out in the open, and we wouldn't be looking at law enforcement and their illegal activities abusing their power the way that they are. So I get it. I understand why things have to happen. I do. I understand. Melanie says, yeah, but when your family member is killing other family members, you have to give tough love from a distance. She could be distance. I don't know if she's visiting jail or not, but again, I do understand why Miss Robbie is saving her brand, because that's her only means of income. She doesn't have, several means of incomes. If Sweetie Pies goes under, she'll be okay for the rest of her life, but I understand at the same time what she's trying to do is leave a legacy. So I get that. Terry says, word was he was molested. He molested Andre. This could be, but whatever it was, Tim was trying to keep it under wraps. Tim was trying to keep it under wraps. And you're welcome, Purple. Anything I can do to shed light on this case, I will for you guys. Living Life says, if my son did that, I would show up in court, then wave goodbye, lay in the ruthless bed you made. I think everybody, you'd have to say your goodbyes, because he's not coming home. If Tim gets off, no joke, the team of lawyers that he has to be the best super lawyer team on the planet if he gets off from this. But I just don't see it happening. Now that I know what I know, and now that what we've all seen tonight, from law enforcement, absolutely not. He's not getting off. Tim did not hear nothing about his mother. She was a money bag for him. And I believe harm going to come to Miss Robbie also. I also think he had a grudge against Miss Robbie because she sued him. Doesn't make a difference if he had a grudge against Miss Robbie or not. He already had the $1 million policy out on Miss Robbie before any of this happened, according to family. According to family. As far as Miss Robbie being involved, absolutely not. I will never believe that. It's her grandson. I'm not going to believe that. I believe that if Miss Robbie wasn't worried or concerned about money, she wouldn't have sued Tim. She was trying to make a point, and she's trying to save her brand. I absolutely don't believe that. That right there would probably give me a heart attack. I'm just saying that would give me a heart attack. I don't believe that. Terry, there was other info out there. Who knows if it's true? You never can tell. I believe, what I see. I don't think that the FBI would fudge any information. I don't think the state of Missouri would fudge any information and put it in public record. So just seeing what they had to say and what they put in the reports and what they put in public record, it really shed some light for me, because I just didn't understand what kind of evidence the FBI would have had to go and knock on Tim's door and say you're under arrest. But now, after seeing who they have backing them up, I mean, which is everybody in law enforcement, everybody was on this case. Literally, everybody was on this case, including alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Everybody was on this case. Everybody was. It just was real dumb. Okay, let's look at it realistically. What was stupid was Terica throwing the burner phones in the trash bin, or whatever you call it, in the dumpster. It was dumb for Tim to try to expose his, whichever way he did. It was dumb for Tim to get on the airplane and fly out, because he was trying to either, number one, be the shooter, number two, pay the shooter, or number three, just trying to make sure everything was done and then get on a plane and fly back. You had burner phones already. You didn't have to be there. There are always going to be some mistakes that a criminal or a wannabe criminal will do. They slip up. And I believe, and this is just me, you guys feel free to drop me, a few lines and tell me what you think. But just my opinion, I feel like Tim jumped the gun because, and I'll say it again, he found out that his nephew was working with the police. Why else would, days before Andre was supposed to come back to St. Louis to have his lie detector test, why would you pick that week? Why would you pick those days? Because you've already had the life insurance policy for years. You got it when he was 18. He's now 21. Why would you choose now, right before he's going to go and cooperate with the police? Tim is hiding something. There is something that he doesn't want his mother to know, and it has more to do with that stupid robbery, because Miss Robbie is not hurting when it comes to money. This is about the principle of the thing. You took that boy out because he knows something on you, and you didn't want it to come out. And he is, Terry. He is going to pay for this if he's not already. You know what I'm saying? Because his life hasn't been as rosy, as it seems. But this right here is unforgivable. This is literally unforgivable. And the only thing that, I don't know, but I wish, is that Miss Robbie would be asking questions. She needs to be asking the real questions. You know what I'm saying? Not that if something is true, but just go ahead and just say, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because the evidence is so crystal clear. Lauren says, if some miracle happens and he's free, Sweetie Pies will come to an end quickly. I believe that. Now that right there, I definitely believe, because Miss Robbie will probably give him a job and he'll be working at Sweetie Pies and nobody will come to eat. That I believe. And not just at that particular restaurant. People will leave the entire brand because Miss Robbie is the brand. So if Miss Robbie, says, yes, he's my son, of course he's coming back to the company. Absolutely not. Investors will pull out. People will stop eating. It'll ruin her. It'll ruin her. He needs to take his little $500,000 that he's worth when he if he gets out or whatever, and take care of his children. He needs to break his new son off a little something something, and he needs to break little Timmy, little TJ off something something, and go ahead and do what he needs to do, because at the end of the day, he's going to do some time, mainly because of Terica's testimony. Terica said, Tim told me what to do, and we got the burner phones, and then Tim paid me he promised me $10,000. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely guilty. The girl already started singing. Yeah, LP, now that's true. Tim could have just filed bankruptcy. which he should have. After in 2016, I probably would have filed bankruptcy knowing that, now we all know that Miss Robbie wasn't going to go through the with the lawsuit, but what it was, now that I looked at the lawsuit, I understand every article that was in that paperwork on that PDF file. I completely understand how many mistakes Tim made. And she was right. You're ruining me. You are ruining me. And I mean, it was just mistake after mistake after mistake, from the buildings that you picked to, altering the website, and then you made a website of your own and connected it to the real website, and then you went on Yelp and got hundreds of people with terrible reviews, and the list just went on and on and on. You were making terrible food, a 2-piece chicken dinner for $20. Are you insane? Ain't nobody paying $20 for no 2-piece. Nobody. Are you kidding me? And then you're ruining the food on top of that. On top of price gouging, you're ruining the food. I think I do, Terry. I think that he had something to do with robbing her house. I think that Tim possibly did something to Andre that, he was trying to keep a secret. I think that he had something to do with robbing the home, and I think that he had something to do with taking Andre out because he's trying to hide secrets. Because, like I said, if it was all about money, it wouldn't have taken Tim 4 years to cash out. Okay, I showed you guys the actual, what was it? I showed you guys the legal paperwork for the life insurance policies. The $2,000, which was the initial policy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the paperwork also showed the $200,000 for accidental death, and then the rider. There were 2 riders, so it all ended up to be $450,000, plus $5,000, and all of this had to happen within a 10-year span. So he got the life insurance policy when Andre was 18 years of age, but Andre didn't pass away until he was 21. So that means that Tim would have still either, number one, been waiting on Andre to pass away, or number two, he just didn't know how to execute this until something major happened, which was, again, number 3, Andre Montgomery working with the police, and Tim probably freaked out when he heard lie detector test. So the first test, Tim probably didn't know about. Now, Tim didn't know about that lie detector test, and so when he found out about it, he said, oh, thank God that Andre was high. He was too high. The test came back inconclusive. But then you found out that, oh, well, he'll be back. They're going to give him a little time, and he can't smoke any more weed, and he's going to be clean, and he's going to come back. Because Andre was too happy to work with the police. He wasn't putting up a fight at all, which lets me further know that Andre was innocent. Andre was innocent. What guilty person do you know is too happy to work with the police? What guilty person do you know tells the police, you know what, the night before I took this one test right here, I was high because me and my boys was kicking it. We took some pictures on Instagram and this, that, and the third, and we was just kicking it, and I was high. I was probably still high when I took the test. And the cop says, you know what, you're young, you're 21, I understand. Let's go ahead and bring you back in. Go get yourself clean, don't smoke any more weed, and then when you come back, you'll take the test. He said, sure, no problem. And Tim said, oh, no, you won't. Not on my watch. Because you're going to start singing like a canary, and you're going to tell some stuff that I don't need to be told. And there you go. And Miyashi Moore, she probably will. If Tim goes down for life in prison, I can see that happening. Simply because if she's still feuding with Miss Robbie, it will definitely be a dig to Miss Robbie. You know, that would hurt Miss Robbie. and she really isn't caring about Tim at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that happening. And it's sad that things get to this point, all because of the absent parent that has actually, and Janae said herself on Instagram, Tim hasn't seen his son in 7 years, and that was on his 10th birthday. Melanie, hi. Melanie said, I think he robbed the house to remember. I think he robbed the house too. Remember when he was driving around in the Ferrari? Yes, yes, we remember that. And then he bought Miss Robbie a Mercedes for her birthday. Where did he get that money? Well, Tim had money back then. That was not money from the house robbery. The money that Miss Robbie put in the lawsuit was from the restaurant, which lets us know, hey, I know you took the money. I know you were funneling money out of the restaurant. So I know it was you that did it because Miss Robbie put it in the lawsuit that I showed you guys earlier, right? So now he's broke. Because remember, I showed you guys a few minutes ago that Tim is only worth $500,000 now. But back then, Tim had money. So you don't go to a car lot and just pay, 20 million, down, unless you're Liberace or something. You know what I'm saying? He probably had good credit. He probably paid the money down. You know what I'm saying? The cars probably weren't up to date cars. You know what I'm saying? So he had the money to do it. But as time goes on and you start opening up businesses that are actually failing and they are getting horrific reviews, and then nobody else is going to come, because what do you do before you go to a business, ladies and gentlemen? You check the reviews, especially when it's something that you love, like soul food. A lot of Southerners love soul food, and we want to go check this restaurant out. So you look up Yelp, you look up whatever it is, you Google it to see the reviews. Every review is bad. That's crazy. Miyoshi says, it'll have to be 2 turkey wings or the size of 2 turkey wings before I'd pay $20. Yeah, it was regular chicken, honey. A 2-piece dinner for $20. There are some things that Tim did that were very questionable, going all the way back to Tim getting a, insurance policy when Andre was 18, up until going to the funeral and bringing 2 bodyguards that you hired from a legitimate agency, and they supplied you with a bulletproof vest so that you could wear to the funeral. I beg your pardon. That sounds like a complete and utter narcissist. I'm just saying. Who does that? Just Be Real said, I never saw her at either, only Tim and the sister. And Just Be Real, Miss Robbie won't be responsible for Tim's mess in Texas, right? Absolutely not. That was listed in the report that she, or the legal paperwork that she filed against him. So whatever he did in Texas and whatever he did in California, no, that's all him. And she had everything in order. If you saw the paperwork that I had up on the screen earlier, she listed everything. There were almost 100 articles in that report, in that lawsuit. I mean, she went down the line with a fine-tooth comb. I'm proud of Miss Robbie. Miss Robbie ain't no fool. She's not worth $12 million in 2020 by being a fool. Okay? She did that. Just Be Real said Tim needs to live 100 years in solitary confinement. Oh God. LP says that Andre probably had some kind of evidence on Tim. I think that speculation, not rumor, but speculation of Tim hurting Andre in some way in the past could definitely be a factor. And I say that, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe that Tim was also abused in some way when he was younger, possibly by family. Definitely when he went in prison. And, if you're a believer, in the faith, you know that this can harm your psyche. And I strongly believe that Tim has done some things that he shouldn't have, and he's trying to keep the secrets covered up. Living Life says that Tim was using Miss Robbie's money. Oh yeah, she called him out on it, and I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that the paperwork shows that in her lawsuit, she said, and I quote, Tim laundered the money. So she already knew. She knew. Yeah, just be real now, cause I pulled out every receipt I could. When y'all watch this back, for the ones who are like new, and let me say shout out to the 273 in the room. I appreciate you guys being here. I am an insomniac. All right. LP got me laughing. She said the cars were probably rented. Could be. Could have been. Could have been. Absolutely. You want me to Google it? Let me see what I can do for you. Uh Now what did we say? Ow. Is there might be a mosquito in here. Okay, let me see. Tim Norman. Um Cars, Miss Robbie. Do. Let's see. What comes up here? All right. I'm Googling. I'm going to drop the link if I find something interesting, you guys. Hang tight. So, Miss Robbie, Tim Norman, buys cars. Now, this has to be an old. If it's on anything, it'll be back in the day. Exclusive. Tim, what? Okay, this is old. C15, 2018. Newsbreak.com. Exclusive. Tim plan to give us refresh money. I'll link too if you guys want to read that. That was in December. Miss Robbie said you speak to see. Okay, this is like old stuff, but I really wanted to see. What I'm looking for right now is cars. Now let me see what you guys said. All right, I just dropped that link about him planning to murder his mom, and that's just speculation. It's not for real. They have any evidence on that. Okay. Yep. No Johnny Cochran. This here is totally different. Tim is not going home. He might get to go home and say, a quick, goodbye, get his, affairs in order. He'll probably have a little egg bracelet wear, you know what I'm saying? But he's not getting out to go home permanently. That's not an option. I don't see that happening. This right here will not end the way he wants to. This did not be, a grand day for Tim. It's probably going to be on a video, you guys, because I can't really find any information on Tim Norman buys mom cars. Tim Norman took a policy out. Is Tim Norman the killer? Miss Robbie and Tim for 2017 interview. That's a YouTube video. Sweetie Pie's Norman next intent victim was his mom. Nope. Stars of own Sweetie Pie's Tim Norman denies he denies everything that Janae says. Of course he does. I don't see anything about it, so it's probably on a video. But it's so, the internet is just so bombarded with Sweetie Pie's Tim Norman next intent victim, response to lawsuit from mom Miss Robbie. Okay, that was back in 2016. Yeah, it must include cars. Let me see. Nope, I don't see anything. This is crazy. What your man's car says about you. I don't know. Miss Robbie breaks her silence following son Tim Norman's arrest. Welcome to Sweetie Pie's Tim Norman lashes out at ex Janae. Nope, no information on he bought the car. and what kind of car and if it was rented. But this doesn't mean that I'm going to stop looking for it. It just means I can't find it tonight. Ah. Okay, I'm doing one more search. You see how you guys do this to me? I can't let this go now. This is why I never sleep. Welcome to Sweetie Pie Star Charged and Murdered. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. It's crazy. I don't know. I'll do some in-depth searching tomorrow. LP says Tim scary. I can't see him pulling the trigger. That's why he got others involved. I was just thinking he probably run at the cars by the week to showboat. Probably. It was probably like, I got you this car for the day or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I got you the car for the day. That's probably what that was about. If I had my guess, I would say, that's what it was. We got you the car for the day. Miyashi says yes, Janae should change her son's name. I mean, yeah, she might. She might. She's happily married. She's a bodybuilder now. Seriously. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to, pull the receipts out so you guys could watch this in action. Uh I like doing my little inch high private eye. I like playing inch high private eye because I'm telling you, there is nothing like seeing it for yourself. Seeing it for yourself in action, that's what it's all about. Melanie says, I remember seeing it on the show. It was when he was dating Jennifer Williams. Ugh, this name keeps popping up. I don't like her. I don't trust her. I stopped, seeing her as a credible human being, period, on that Basketball Wives show because she was always lying. LP says, 20, you got Instagram because when I was researching about this case, girl, I be needing someone to tell. Oh, God. This is so hilarious. You're so funny. Okay, let me see. She wants to see my Instagram. All right. Uh, Instagram. Let's go to Instagram and see who am I on Instagram. I am Girl Boss Academy on Instagram. I was going to say this better not be Jennifer looking dead at me, but it is not. It is Kimmy. Do you guys watch that show? Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is me on Instagram. Just in case you want to know. I teach a course called Girl Boss Academy, and it is for people who want to learn more about being successful on YouTube. So this is me. I don't promote it a whole lot. I only have 67 followers. So if all of you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I would appreciate it. And if you want to know more about Girl Boss Academy, just click the little link, and that's the link to my website. It takes you into my little world. So yeah, that's me. And feel free to inbox me. People inbox me all the time, LP. And not only do they Instagram me and inbox me, but I check my email about 4 to 6 times a day. Okay? Thank you, Miyashi. I appreciate you guys so much. I love my little inch high private eye. And yeah, it is, Aaron. This mess is crazy. I agree with all of y'all who's saying that this mess is absolutely, definitely crazy. It is, for sure. Anyway, you guys, yeah, talk to me on the gram or email me or what have you. But I'm gonna get out of here because it is 1:05 a.m. my time, and I know that you guys probably have to go to work and you got to get some sleep and all that kind of stuff. But I do appreciate you guys being here with me to hang out, and I definitely appreciate everybody that chips in with tips, to email me or inbox me and say, hey, check this article out and check that article out. So keep keep everything coming. Keep the tips coming. Keep the articles coming. Just give me a shout out if you want to ask questions. I am always on the internet somewhere. I never leave my phone at home. I'm always on the internet looking at something. It's gonna get to the point where I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing and just go live. You know what I mean? Do you? I love Kimmy. Listen, the whole cast is like 20 minutes away from me. I'm gonna see if I can go to Huntsville and get an interview and just hang out. I think I'll do that. Let me just see what Melanie has to say. Anyway, you guys, good night, good night, good night, sweet dreams. You guys, get some rest and, make something positive and wonderful happen tomorrow. Live on purpose, all right? And I will catch you guys tomorrow. I have some stories that I need to drop. But thanks again for hanging out, and I'll talk to you guys.